Hey guys, I'm Alistair and this is the On Cloudflow 5. The Cloudflow 5 is On's tempo running shoe, so it's designed to fill the gap from daily trainer all the way up to race day carbon fiber super shoe. So it is very much a speed training shoe for doing things like fartlek training, interval training, tempo running, all that kind of stuff where you want to push the pace and sacrifice a little bit of comfort for speed. Well, that's what the Cloudflow 5 is for. Let's kick off with the key specifications. They cost $180. Now I will let you know at the end of this review if I believe they're worth that price tag. They weigh 9.5 ounces or 269 grams, and that's for a size US men's 9. That's my pair. By the way, if that doesn't really mean anything to you because you don't know what other shoes weigh, well, it's not the lightest tempo running shoe out there. It's not a heavy shoe by any means, but it is a little bit weighty for a tempo shoe. It has a drop of 8mm from heel to toe. That's 36mm under the heel and 28mm under the toe. The midsole is using On's Helium HF supercritical foam, and it's also got a glass fiber infused nylon plate. So it's not a carbon fiber plate, it's nylon. What does that mean? Well, it means it's more flexible than a carbon fiber plate, which is good. That's what you want in training. You want to actually be able to flex your feet as much as possible so that you are actually working those muscles in your feet. And then come race day, you swap it out for a carbon fiber plate and it just shoots you along, propels you forward and makes race day that little bit easier. Allows you to push harder and get a better time. So you can see as I do this flex test, the flex really does happen all the way across the shoe, so there is a good amount of flex at the toe. It's a good amount of flex in the middle of the shoe, and that's really about it. So some shoes just flex at the toe, some just flex in the middle. This one has a good range all the way across the shoe, and that means you can really work your foot muscles as you're running. The outsole traction has been really good so far. Plenty of rubber compound on there. There are sections of exposed foam, which you can see, that's the yellow or lime colors here. Luckily, On has extruded this rubber compound enough so that it is going to last quite a while. It's going to have good durability on there, and so far I don't see any wear on this exposed foam area. So I feel like they've done a good job to balance durability with knocking off weight by not having quite as much rubber compound on the outsole. The upper is using a woven mesh, and there's plenty of cushioning, padding in the collars and at the heel counter here, which has a little bit of flex to it. The tongue does have a little bit of padding on there. It looks thin at first glance, but there is padding over where the laces go over it, so you don't get any lace bite from the fit. It's a really nice secure fit as well, but it's not the most breathable. And then finally, the shoe does have a rocker geometry, but most importantly, it's got this really aggressive toe spring, which for anyone who doesn't know what toe spring means, it's literally just how the toe curls up at the front of a shoe. That allows for a really nice smooth roll or toe takeoff because your foot's already bent a little bit. So that makes the shoe have a really nice forward roll, and that works very well. When it comes to sizing and fit, they do fit true to size in length, and they have a medium width. So I would just go with your usual sizing with these. If you do have wide feet, there isn't a wide version available as of yet, and you might feel like these are a bit too snug for you. That said, the toe box is quite spacious, which is really nice. That gives your toes enough room to actually splay and allow you to get as much power from your speed training sessions as possible. So overall, I really love the fit of this shoe. It feels like it's been modeled on an average person's foot, which is awesome. And yeah, I think most people are going to really enjoy the fit of this. Heel lockdown is really good as well. And I really like this feature that On has introduced, which is this extra layer of eyelets. And that allows you to adjust the support around the midfoot, but also the the fit. So you can get it tighter or looser in various areas all the way across this lacing system and your foot. In case you do have interestingly shaped feet that don't fit the mold of the average foot, then On is catered for that. You can just adjust or micro adjust this lacing setup and get the perfect fit for you. If you're enjoying this review so far, please give the video a like, share it with a friend, and comment on this video. I really appreciate it when you guys do that. It's super important because I am trying to make this channel more of a community. I want to get everyone's input, everyone who watches this video. I want you to share your thoughts on these shoes if you run in them. Maybe you run in other On running shoes that you prefer, or you've just got a favorite running shoe. Maybe it's not On, maybe it's a different brand. I want you to put all this information in the comments down below because it's really going to help people who are already subscribed to the channel, but future channel subscribers, because this channel's growing really quickly. And I know the more information is certainly going to help people form an opinion on a shoe, or a better opinion, and help their buying decisions. And that's really the goal of this channel, is to build a community and help people buy the best running shoes for them. And of course, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. That'll let you know as soon as new videos drop. You've made it to my performance review. I'm going to start with what they're best at, because I have been running at different paces and doing different types of runs in these shoes. And it very quickly became apparent that these are much better when you are running at a higher pace. What do I mean by that? Well, it's confirming the fact they are a very good tempo running shoe for a specific person. And that specific person is someone who doesn't mind, or someone who enjoys a firm ride. And maybe someone who doesn't heel strike. So if you're okay with a firm ride, you land more towards your forefoot, and you are a fast-paced runner, then these shoes are going to work well for you. But for everyone else, there are better options out there. And the reason for that is because this midsole right here is firm. And although it does break in a little bit over time, this Helion foam it's firm. You do feel what's going on beneath you on the road. And a lot of people like that because they do run light-footed. They have a high cadence, so they're not so bothered about having a high stack or having that plush ride when they're running. And to be honest, you don't want a plush ride in a tempo running shoe because that's going to take energy out of your stride, and it's going to make you run that little bit slower. That said, this foam isn't the most responsive either, unfortunately. Most of the propulsion that you're getting from the ride on this is coming from that nylon speedboard, which is a kind of like a dumbed down carbon fiber plate. It does have plenty of flex, it's easy to flex, but yes, you get a lot of bounce back. So check this out. This shoe absolutely, caught it by the lace. This shoe absolutely flies when you do flex that plate and when you're running fast. I would just like to see some more response or bounce back from the cushioning, because that would make this shoe a lot more comfortable for a lot more runners, but it would also make it a lot faster. Whilst the nylon plate works really well, it doesn't gel that well with this pod setup or this Helion foam, unfortunately. That's not to say it's not a fast shoe. It is a fast shoe, but it's not a fast shoe for everyone. So if you're a heel striker, you're going to really feel the ground beneath you on this one. And I'd either recommend going for a different tempo running shoe from my roundup up here, or maybe start running more towards your forefoot. And I think you're going to really benefit from this toe spring, or the curled up forefoot rocker. That's really going to help you initiate a smoother toe roll off, but also more explosive toe off and more propulsive ride. That's where this shoe performs the best. That said, it doesn't have a huge range, so if you are looking for a shoe to do tempo running and use as a daily trainer, this one isn't it. As soon as you start slowing down the pace, you start feeling the firm ride a lot more underfoot, and then you're not relying on the nylon plate to propel you forward because you're not going fast enough to initiate it, and the foam just doesn't kind of have that responsive bounciness to it to help you out if you are running slower. So it's a tempo running shoe through and through. Don't expect much else from it if you are wanting to run slower paced runs in this shoe too. For all of what I said there, that makes this shoe not the best for long distance running either. So I think you could certainly use it for a half marathon race. I wouldn't. I would maybe use it for a 10K race, but I don't think I would go beyond that, just because there's more comfortable tempo running shoes. Like the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5, for example. I'll put a little link up there right now. That shoe is fantastic. If you are looking for a tempo running shoe that just does everything really well, you have to check that review out because I absolutely love that tempo running shoe right now. Traction underfoot, really good. Nothing to complain about there. So far it's been holding up durability wise, but the grip and traction is just really good. I have run in some wet sections in these as well, and it just holds up really well on asphalt and concrete surfaces. So nothing to complain about there. Traction is really good. The breathability of the upper is a little bit of a concern. So if you are running in really hot conditions, I think you might start to feel your feet heating up a little bit too much. And that's not something you want on a tempo running shoe because you're going to be inevitably running at high intensity. That's what a speed training or tempo shoe is for. And then finally, it is a little bit heavy. I do wish it was lighter to be more in line with some of the other highly recommended tempo running shoes that I highly rate in that roundup that I posted earlier. It's just a little bit overweight for a speed training shoe, that's all. It doesn't feel incredibly heavy on the run. Lighter weight runners are going to notice this more than heavier runners for sure, but it's something I just had to point out. Well, it's time for my final verdict. Is it worth $180? Well, to me, this is a little bit niche because it is a very firm tempo running shoe, and it does only really perform better at the higher paces. As soon as you start slowing down, it just gets really firm. You don't get the same propulsion because there's not enough response in this foam or geometry. Yes, you get the propulsion and responsiveness from this nylon plate, which runs through the midsole, but that only really works when you're running at higher paces. With that in mind, I think if you're a real fan of On running, you like how this looks, because it does look really nice. It's very sleek. The design is on point. I do love the colors and how this looks. If you're a fan of On and you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of comfort because of it, then yeah, sure, go for these running shoes. But if you want a more well-rounded tempo running shoe that's probably faster, more comfortable, and less expensive, well, there are definitely more options out there. So if you are looking for alternatives to this, because you do need a comfortable, fast tempo running shoe that can handle a wide range of runs, maybe you want it for daily training as well, to make the most of the value, the money that you're going to pay on the shoe, then definitely check out my best tempo running shoes roundup. On there you'll find my favorite tempo shoes right now. As and when I review new tempo running shoes, if they're good enough, I add them to that list. So it's always kept up to date. That's really it for me and my On Cloudflow 5 review. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful. Hope it helped you decide whether or not this shoe is going to be good for you. And hopefully I've made your buying decision that little bit easier. If I have helped you out, why not buy me a coffee? I'll put a link up there and in the description. There you can just say thank you by buying me a coffee. I really appreciate it. And once again, if you enjoyed the review, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.